Ever feel that pull to connect with something bigger than yourself?
Mm.
Maybe in a crowd or even in a quiet moment.
Yeah.
Well, today we are diving deep into a poem that speaks right to that feeling. The Bridge We Crossed Together.
Right.
It's about unity, about change, and about the ties that bind us, especially in a city that's always buzzing,
Absolutely.
So we'll unpack how the poem uses simple words to paint those really vivid images.
Right.
Images of connection and shared experiences. I'm curious to see what we can uncover. What about you?
I think it's amazing how a simple poem can reveal so much about being human.
Oh, totally. Like looking through a window into ourselves.
Exactly.
But this time, the window is a bridge. And it's in the heart of a city.
Interesting.
Yeah. The poem starts in winter,
Okay.
when everything's kind of quiet, almost hidden.
Right.
But underneath, there's this pull, this heart's tide, drawing people together.
Wow.
And it makes you think about how even in a place that seems huge and chaotic, like a city, there's this underlying connection, like threads weaving through everything.
That's powerful.
Isn't it?
I love that image of the heart's tide. It captures that feeling perfectly. Like even when we feel alone, we're still part of this larger rhythm, this shared pulse.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt that? In a place that's totally new, like you're suddenly connected to everyone around you.
Definitely. Like at a concert or maybe even just walking down a busy street.
Exactly. It's like a hidden energy.
And then the poem introduces this bridge right from the start. A bridge of stone, a silent guide. It's this solid, unchanging thing, even as the seasons change around it. It's like a safe space, don't you think?
Yeah, totally. It's like a source of stability in the middle of all the chaos. Like a foundation that you can always count on.
Right.
Makes you think about the foundations in your own life, right? The things that give you stability when everything else feels out of control.
Yeah, I like it. It's like the poem is encouraging us to think about those connections.
Totally. And then we move into spring, when new life starts to appear. Petals drift, like hands held tight.
Such a beautiful line, isn't it? So delicate.
I know, right? It's amazing how it captures both fragility and strength at the same time.
Yeah. The petals are so light.
Right.
They can scatter so easily. But they're also clinging to each other, drifting together as one.
I think that speaks to the dual nature of connection itself. How it can be so fragile, but also incredibly resilient.
Definitely. Then summer hits, full of life and energy. The city breathes, one living thread.
Oh, I love that line.
It feels like the bridge is almost like the heartbeat of the city, connecting everyone and everything.
Yeah, and it's interesting how the poem shifts from individual connections, like the heart's tide or the clasped hands, to this bigger sense of unity.
Right.
Like all those little connections are building up to create this collective energy.
Exactly. And then the poem challenges us. It says, the bridge unites each soul who dares to share their story, lift their prayers.
Ooh, good one.
It's like crossing the bridge becomes this deliberate act of connection, not just something that happens by chance.
Right. It's not passive. You have to choose to step onto that bridge, to really engage with others, to share your experiences. It's like building a community.
Yeah, I love that. Community isn't just something we're born into.
Yeah.
It's something we have to actively create.
Exactly. Then autumn comes around.
Yeah.
Time for reflection. In amber light of setting sun, we're walking the bridge.
And there's this feeling of shared history.
Right. Like we've gone through so much together.
Weathered storms.
Yeah.
Celebrated victories.
And through it all, the bridge has been there.
Steadfast. It reminds me that community is built over time, through experiencing both the good and the bad together.
Absolutely. And the poem ends with these really powerful lines. Through harvest hopes, through loss and fear, one bridge, one bond, we cross and roam.
It really speaks to resilience, doesn't it? The ability to keep moving forward, even when things are tough.
It does. And it leaves you with this question. Yeah.
What are the bridges you're crossing in your own life? Are you actively building those connections? What stories are you sharing? And how are you contributing to that one bond that ties us all together?
So much to think about, isn't there?
I think so.
This poem really packs a punch. In just a few lines, it takes us on this journey.
Yeah.
From the quiet of winter to the vibrancy of summer. And through it all, there's this bridge, this symbol of connection and strength. It's a reminder that even in the middle of a bustling city, we're all connected by something much bigger than ourselves.
Beautifully said.
Thanks for joining me on this deep dive. It's been a pleasure exploring this poem with you.
The pleasure was all mine. And to our listeners, keep exploring those bridges.
Until next time.
See you then.